What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and today I've got a smart home tech upgrade video for you where we come into a space that looks really cool. It has a ton of style and character and add some pieces of tech that can enhance the smart home experience. So this right here is actually my friend Chris's, and he comes and helps us film a lot for the past year or so, and you guys might have seen him in some videos here and there, but I've always known that he's got this like really cool place that he has his bed, his like living room area, and his desk set up all in one space, but it just has like a lot of character to it, from like the steel bar where he has his clothes hanging that he made himself, to the wooden floors that are painted in white, and it has like nice like greenery on the outside surrounding it. So I figured we'd come here and not only show you guys the place, but also give it a smart home upgrade. And I want to give a huge thanks to Switchbot and their home tech system for sponsoring this video. Their products are all very affordable, easy to set up, and also retrofitted, so they can go into any existing home setup without having to like modify anything or tear anything down. So if you guys want to go ahead and check them out, everything I feature in this video is going to be linked down below. If you guys would like to win an item from this video, just make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and also leave a comment down below with your Instagram username, and follow us over on Instagram at justin.tse, and I'll be announcing a winner when this video hits 2,000 likes. So this whole space is like super cool, and we want to try to keep the character of it while also making it a little bit smarter. And Chris had mentioned that he not only needs a new TV, but at the same time, there are some areas where there can be improvement, whether it is the automated curtains and adding curtains in general, as well as like automating some of the light switches and some of the accessories that also help with like the air quality and the general feeling of the space that he spends a lot of time in. The humidifier is definitely an example of that, and just how everything comes together is always important in a home tech system. The great thing about Switchbot is that the products are quite affordable relative to a lot of the other offerings that you're going to find on the market. For example, doing like electric curtains and like roller shades are usually like hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, but the ones that you can add onto your existing curtain system and still look completely seamless are just about $100 for the set. And for example, the humidifier is under $60, has the Wi-Fi features, and also has a full-on ecosystem to back it. And you also have like these small accessories that you can continue to add to your place, such as the bot and also the thermostat that just brings everything together and allows you to set very specific sequences. So whenever there's like a system that is all under one company, I feel like people tend to like that just because everything is very cohesive and how it's able to work. But I also like that there's third-party support such as Amazon Alexa. So before I go ahead and get started with the home tech makeover, I'm gonna let Chris like introduce the space and show you guys around.
All right, well, this is my little studio. Started renting this like 5 years ago and did a little reno when I first moved in. I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. I definitely want to do some more upgrades to it, but I've just gotten really busy and haven't had time to do any more upgrades. So, I mean, I may as well give you a little tour. This is the corner where I just threw my bed. Nothing special here. I mean, pretty nice mattress just on box spring, but kept it simple, a little bit of art up in that corner. This is where I spend most of my time. So this is my desk. Definitely not ergonomic at all, but I have all my gear in here because I shoot for a living. So whenever I'm doing any editing or computer work or anything, it's all right here. I got some speakers, got all my storage right here. But yeah, I mean, I have to keep everything pretty organized because I have a lot of gear. So I have a full Husky unit filled with camera gear, cables, hard drives, anything you can imagine needing, as well as all the tools you could ever need. But yeah, so this is my work corner. I also have a full-length mirror here that I just picked up at a thrift store for like $8, and I love it. I have some plants, but obviously you can see I haven't been taking care of them very well. Snake plants are doing all right. The yucca is 5 years deep and almost dead, so I might have to replace it or get someone to teach me how to keep plants alive. I have a super old TV that now has vertical lines in it, so I rarely use it. But yeah, basically I got a little furniture set from IKEA a couple years ago. I think it looks pretty all right. Got a couple skateboards, old skateboards down there. Got books in there, and then just some photo books that my friends have made. Couch, got thrifted. It's comfy as all hell, but it is not very aesthetically pleasing, so it might need an upgrade soon. This was fun. This was a project that I did back when I moved in. Just got some piping from the hardware store and made a couple racks. I have my pants on this side, and then I have basically everything I wear up there, and then anything like winter or athletic clothes I keep in there, but not a whole lot's going on in there. This side, I have the breaker right here, and I didn't know how to cover it up, so I just painted it black. Got some photos that my friends have taken, some old film cameras down here. I also mountain bike, so I've just got my gear hanging up on the wall here. Moving on, we've got another Husky unit here. This has all camping stuff in here, so whenever I go camping, it's all right down here. Got hammock, anything you need to make a fire, all the good stuff. So I try and keep stuff as organized as possible. Built into this place, which is pretty cool, I have a little upstairs. It's exclusively for storage, so I have everything up there that I don't have down here, and I want to keep this place pretty minimal because it's pretty small. So I keep everything else up here. But yeah, it's kind of cool. Got a ladder, you go up, I have all my suitcases and whatever up there. That's pretty sweet. I also have up here, when we first moved in, my friend did an electrician's course, so we figured, hell, why not make some lights? Can't say it turned out very well, but this we just picked up at the side of the road and we drilled some holes into it, put pot lights in here, and it's pretty nice. Like for ambient light, I can make that work. And now, I mean, I got some new gadgets and I can hopefully hook up the new button pressers so I can make this turn on. I also have some air plants, which also could use some love. They definitely look a little bit dead, so I need to revive those a little bit. I got to print out some prints. Recently, I've just been wanting to print out all my friends' photos because I have a lot of really talented friends. So I filled this wall. This is a photo that my buddy took in Morocco, which I thought was really cool. And these two I shot when we were shooting a campaign down in Argentina and Chile. So it's fun to keep some memories here and have them up on the wall because they're pretty cool. And this is super cool. This I got at a thrift store. Well, there's a local place that does old furniture, and they just refurbish this stuff and send it out. So this is actually an ammo crate from World War II. And I just use it to keep my jackets and anything bulky that doesn't fit with my clothing over there. So I picked this up for like $50 5 years ago, and it's sweet. I think I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna try and keep this in every house I have moving forwards. But yeah, I love this, and I love picking up little pieces like this that really stand out and are really just cool individual pieces that have a story behind them. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty well in my space, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do in terms of smart upgrading this place.
So the first thing we're gonna go ahead and install in Chris's place is the Switchbot Curtain. And I feel like I've seen a lot of videos of this, whether it was on TikTok, and these really cool demonstrations where it kind of just like pulls the curtain along on its own. And it's able to like just automate your home very efficiently, and it's the world's first product of its type. So when you go ahead and purchase it on the website, it will ask you for the type of curtain that you have, and depending on the type, which it does have pretty broad compatibility for, it will include the parts that you need. The setup that we're gonna be using for this video is the rod, which is a pretty standard model that I see a lot in North America, where you just have like a circular piece, and this can directly just mount on top, and you can adjust the size accordingly based on the thickness of the rod that you have. Obviously, if you have a U-rail or an I-rail setup, then it also has all the parts that comes with that kit that you chose. So in this case, we're just doing like a simple rod curtain, and Chris didn't have a curtain before, but he would really like one. So we went ahead and installed a rod system, and from there, you're able to clip it on and install in just 30 seconds. From there, I was able to connect it to the smartphone, and just off the calibration process, where you let it know where it is closed and open, it was able to start working right away. In terms of actually using it, you can see that it has like a system that just has it move along the track and it pushes the curtain with it. And usually you would have it mounted on the back side, but in this case, I just had it on the front side just so you guys can see how it works. Overall, you could have it on the back and very seamless, so you can't really see it when it's in use. The app itself also gives you a lot of flexibility, whether it is setting the schedule. There's also a light sensing mode that is in beta. You can also have like a delay in the amount of time you want to take, but you can also connect it to other accessories within the Switchbot ecosystem, which include the remote, which I have it set to open and close with the press of a button, and also the solar panel, which can be attached to the back if you have access to some sunlight in order to keep it charged at all times. But even if you just go ahead and plug it in and charge it via USB Type-C, it is able to work for over 600 hours. If you also want to take the experience a step further, you can also connect it to Amazon Alexa, Google Now, or also Siri. So by talking to it via a command, it will actually open or close the shades accordingly. I think this is like a very good use case because Chris had mentioned that because he has his like desk with all the equipment in front of the window that he's trying to block, a lot of times having to like lean over and close the blinds on all 3 windows was a bit more of a hassle than it needed to be. So with the automated shades, he's able to just press a button on his smartphone or with the remote and it will do that right away. So let's just go ahead and close it right now. So as you can see, it is relatively quiet and it is just moving along super smooth, and we were able to get it up and running in just 30 seconds. To open it once again, I can just go on the app and tap the button, and as you can see, it is all instantaneous and I haven't had any connectivity issues or anything with the system itself. What is also really cool about the Switchbot system is that as they work in conjunction, you can actually set specific scenes and parameters to enable different commands based on the conditions. So for example, if it is a really hot day and you have your temperature inside the house and it senses that it's reached over a certain temperature that you may have set previously, then it will have a command where you can have the shades closed so there's not like any heat coming from sunlight. And for example, it will also turn on the humidifier if the room drops below a certain threshold that you have set. I think that amount of flexibility in a nice retrofitted ecosystem is really good to have. Similar to all the other products that we're talking about today, the Switchbot Curtain is retrofitted, so you don't have to make any modifications to your existing curtains or anything. It is just super easy to just connect, synchronize the system, calibrate it, and you're good to go. So another really nice accessory for Chris's bedroom studio is the Switchbot Smart Humidifier. And for anyone who doesn't have like air conditioning and is in a room that can get relatively hot and like dry, then this is a great accessory because it puts out nice cool air just to make it feel nice and refreshing. While filming the video, it actually got pretty warm in there, so this was like a really refreshing thing that we kept on the entire time. And inside the box, once again, they include the power adapter, the water filter, and to set it up, you just have to fill it up with water all the way and add the filter first, of course, and followed by that, you just connect it to the phone app just like you would any other Switchbot accessory, and it connects through Wi-Fi. So beyond the fact that it is a nice humidifier, you can actually also put essential oils in, which a lot of people do enjoy. And personally, I haven't used that kind of feature before, but Chris did mention he does have essential oils. And on top of that, it also has a whole like water filter and everything, and it looks pretty stylish as well. Those are all like nice features of something that is going to be in your home, but on top of that, it also has Wi-Fi that is built in, so you can control it from the entire Switchbot ecosystem, whether it is your thermostat, your smartphone, or also through a remote. What is also nice is that you do have the Switchbot sensor, which has a temperature and hydrometer reading. It can actually enable the humidifier as well as closing the curtains when the place reaches a certain temperature or if the humidity drops to a certain point. So whenever you're away, if you want to like maintain a certain temperature and block out some of the sunlight, it can do that, and it will also turn on this humidifier right here. So when you come back home, it is nice and refreshing and somewhat cooler. It has a 3.5 liter tank that can run for about 48 hours, and you can actually direct it to any kind of direction that you would like just by spinning the top right here. So overall, it actually looks really nice and is super easy to use. You've also got the button to control everything from the front, but as I mentioned, you can do that from your smartphone. One major thing that I also noticed is that it is extremely quiet. So another really simple but effective accessory that I've seen a lot of is a Switchbot bot. And this right here is actually a button presser. And whether you have like a light switch, a coffee machine, or a computer, the options are literally limitless and you can get really creative as to what this is able to do. But it is essentially a little robot that is able to press a button for you and you can control it from your smartphone. So I've even seen applications such as like people using it with a pet feeder, for example, to like automatically feed their pet while they're away. You can literally do anything, but I think it's cool for the fact that in Chris's setup, he has a light switch that is diagonal from his bed across the room. So if he's laying in bed and like reading a book or wants to watch TV and shut off the lights on this side of the house, then he can just activate it, whether it's from the smartphone app or also the remote. And within seconds, the lights are off and you don't have to get out of bed or anything. And it essentially turns your light switch into a smart one. Another example is the coffee machine. So maybe you're getting ready and you want the coffee machine to start making making that morning coffee, you can have the button on the machine and it will turn it on and you're good to go. And another application that I also thought of is, say you're like a video creator or someone who has like files to send to yourself, and you like maybe forget to send something one of the days that you have to either submit for school or for a client. Then by having this on your computer, it will actually press the button to turn it on. And from there you can access it remotely from like an app like Splashtop that I use to send the file to yourself. And that is definitely a situation that I've run into before. So if you have like a desktop computer or an iMac where this can actually stick behind, then the Switchbot bot is able to work as well. Some of the ideas are going to be way crazier than others, and for some people you're just going to want to keep it very simple and use it for your light switch, but as I said, you can pretty much do anything that you want that needs a button press. The one accessory that can bring the entire setup together though is the Switchbot remote, and whether it is control the bot for the light switches or button pressing, it can also be connected to the curtain or even both different types of functions, because there are two buttons and you can choose exactly what you want them to do. In terms of Chris's setup, he was most excited to use the curtain, so we decided to program it so that the up button is able to close it and the down button is able to open it. So from anywhere in the room, he can just press the button and it will do that right away. So now that we're done our home automation process for Chris, it is now time to kind of give it that cherry on top. And something that Chris has told me since he's known me is that he's got this 2008 TV and it is like barely hanging on the wall, and he just doesn't really use it because it is not very good. With the amount of things that I make him film and edit on top of his day-to-day in the film industry as a DP, I'm not really sure how much he's going to use this TV, but I figured I'd get him a new one anyways, and this right here is just a 55-inch Samsung, but has all the features that Chris likes. It has really good image quality and also a lot of the smart features with Netflix and everything that is built in. He can also stream right to it with AirPlay, which is a feature that he specifically wanted. But even though we tried to wire that power cable through the wall like I do with every single setup, unfortunately I didn't realize there was actually insulation behind, so I wasn't able to get it through without the proper tools.
Just enough to do a little upgrade to my place here and add some smart features, which I never thought about doing. And they've been pretty sweet. I mean, this is where I edit. And when I renovated this place, I kind of just threw the blinds back in and they look really bad. And they're really hard to reach when I'm working. And a lot of the time I need it to be pretty dark in here. So the fact that I can just press a button on my phone and the curtains will close is super helpful, especially when I need to do any editing, color grading, or whatever. It just makes it really, really easy. When I used to have to try and dark out this place, I used to have to reach over my setup and individually draw those blinds. And it was tricky because I have all this stuff here, my hard drives and my computer, so it's not easy to get to. But now it's easy, I can just press a button and it'll close. It's also hooked up to the thermometer, so I set an ideal temperature that I like it, and if it feels like it's getting too hot in here, they'll just close automatically. And it also means that when I'm away, I can close them from my phone for security reasons, just because I have expensive gear here and I don't want it, don't want any eyes on it. So it's been a pretty useful upgrade for sure. In the summer, it definitely gets pretty warm in here because there's no air conditioning in here, it's just baseboard heaters. So it definitely makes it useful being able to close all the shades at once, just with the touch of a button. There's another cool little product that Justin brought, which attaches to all the light switches. And it means that when I'm in bed, reading or watching TV or whatever, I can turn all the light switches off from my phone as well, which is really nice. Or, if I forget to turn them off before I leave, I can also just access it from my phone and turn them all off. It's really nice because I can also set it up with a schedule. So at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. every night, they'll just turn off on their own, and it's a pretty good reminder that I should probably head to bed. But yeah, it's been pretty useful so far, and I didn't think it would be, but I've enjoyed it. Another thing that helps with the heat is the humidifier that's in here now. It helps because it's pretty dry in here in the summer, and I've got a lot of plants that need moisture, especially when I'm away for a couple weeks. And it keeps my plants alive, and it also keeps the temperature cool in here. And it's also linked up to the curtains, which closes at a certain temperature. So when it gets too warm in here, the humidifier turns on, the curtains close, and it keeps it at a decent temperature in here. I didn't really think about integrating tech into my studio here, but it's actually been pretty helpful. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it does.
But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.